So we're going to start today with a little bit of review, and we're going to review multiplying polynomials, and we're going to review finding zeros. If you are pretty confident with that, feel free to skip this. We're basically going through this block of problems and this block of problems. If you want to, you can check in the key and make sure that you did the problems correctly. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to jump right into problem number 1 here. So problem number 1, you need to multiply these polynomials together. A couple of different ways to do multiplication. I tend to do distributive property. So x times x is x squared, x times 5, so plus 5x, negative 4 times x, negative 4x, and negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. I'm going to combine the two like terms in the middle. So x squared plus 1x minus 20. And that is the multiplication problem. I'm going to slide over to number 2 here. Number 2 doesn't necessarily look like a multiplication problem, but that power means you need to take x minus 3 times another x minus 3. So please make sure you write it out to get all of the multiplication that you need to do. All right, distribute, so x squared, let's see, minus 3x, and then minus, nope, I lied, plus 9. A negative times a negative is a positive. Our two like terms again are in the middle. So x squared minus 6x plus 9, and we have again multiplied. All right, so next problem for number 3 here. Now, number 3, you've got 3 things that you're multiplying. So you want to be careful because you can only ever multiply 2 of them at one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 5 and I'm going to multiply x minus 2. For right now, I am going to ignore this x plus 2. So let's see, if I distribute here, I'm going to get 5x, and if I distribute here, I'm going to get minus 10. But I want to be careful. I still need to multiply that with x plus 2. All right, so just be careful that you don't drop your multiplication too early, but also that you don't multiply too much. Kind of a fine line. All right, I'm going to distribute again here. So let's see, 5x times x is going to be 5x squared. 5x times 2 is going to be positive 10x. Negative 10 times x would be minus 10x. And then negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. Two middle terms right here. Because one's positive 10x and one is negative 10x, they'll actually cancel each other out. And so you're left with 5x squared minus 20. All right, so that's the review of multiplication. I'm going to go ahead and pop on down to problem number 4 here. Problem number 4 says to determine the zeros of each of the functions. So when we're talking about finding zeros, what we want to do is look at each factor, and we've got the factors right here, and I'm going to set each factor equal to 0. And separately, let's get that equal to 0 there. And for each one of these, I'm going to solve for x. So x equals negative 5 and x equals 11. So my zeros are x equals negative 5 and x equals 11. Now, it's nice when it's in factored form, all right? So let's see if part 2 here, the g of x function, yep, it's in factored form as well. We want to be careful. We have a factor of x, and so that will be a little problem unto itself. 2x plus 1, and then x minus 7 is its own factor. So I'm going to take each factor, set it equal to 0, and then each one of these I'm going to solve. Now, I say I'm going to solve it, but x equals 0 is solved. There's nothing to do there. So I'm just going to box that one up and call it done. This middle one, I'm going to subtract 1. Go ahead and say 2x is equal to negative 1, divide by 2. So x is equal to negative 1/2. And the last one over here, I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and so x is equal to 7. All right, so we had 3 zeros for g of x because we had 3 factors that each had a variable x in it. And so each of those factors means we're going to get a 0. All right, last one in this set is h of x. And again, we've got 3 factors here. So x, we've got x minus 1, and we have 5x plus 3. So I'm going to set each factor equal to 0. So x equals 0. Well, that one's done. X minus 1 equals 0. If I add 1 to both sides, I would get x is equal to 1. And now I have my second 0. And then the last one is 5x plus 3 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, divide both sides by 5, and 100% I'm leaving that in fraction form. I don't need to deal with the decimals. All right. So that is the little bit of review at the top. I'm going to go ahead and close this video. I'm going to make little videos, probably more shorter videos, hopefully. And then the next videos will get into the actual factoring practice. That will be the review for the beginning of this unit. Let me know if you have any questions or